So today's session objectives are that we will recall all the work we are supposed to do in module 1. So we'll enlist all that work. And second thing is we'll also check out the exemplars and the formats, and we'll relook into the lesson plans with the online perspective. So that's the idea for today. These are the objectives of today's session. Okay, so let's just relook into what are the things which we did in our module 1, right? And what is that which is expected of us. So in unit 1, we studied about the principles of learning and teaching, and we did learning outcome A, B, C, and D. In unit 2, we studied about how to go about and do effective or create an effective lesson. And there were E, F, G, and H learning outcomes that we tried to achieve. And in unit 3, it was actually facilitating the active learning through effective teaching and assessment, right? And so then we went ahead and did learning outcomes I, J, K, and L. So all of these things in terms of theory is over, right? Now what is remaining is only the practical things. So what we'll do is, first of all, we'll just check out the exemplar e-portfolio to figure out what are the things and the work which we are supposed to be doing. So just give me a second. I will share. Okay. So now this is the PDQ. I have directly taken you to the PDQ because I want you all to go through PDQ to get your exemplars. Okay. And nowhere else. So I'm first of all going to the online learning dashboard and then to PDQ Connect. And from here, we will go to help. And in help, we have exemplar portfolios. And in this, we will go in for certificate in teaching and learning. And here now you'll find your e-portfolio, exemplar e-portfolio, in which the first page, sorry, I've moved on to the second page. In the first page, you're supposed to be writing answers to all these questions, which is about your educational context. Okay, simple questions which you're supposed to write, and some more information about yourself is what you have to provide here. Okay, and the main thing is on page number 2, 3, and 4, which is your unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. So you can see that in unit 1, which all most of you have done, in unit 1, it is the observation visit form that you're supposed to be filling. So what you're going to do is that you will be observing an experienced teacher if you have not observed so far. And you'll be observing the experienced teacher along with your mentor. And after that, you will go ahead and fill this particular sheet. Okay, this sheet has to be filled by you. So in unit 1, it's only this sheet which has to be filled. Along with, you also have to attach the lesson plan of the teacher whose lesson you have observed, right? So though that lesson plan is not going to be assessed, but that is an artifact which is absolutely essential in unit 1. Then there is this evidence of learning of 800 words that you're supposed to write. Now, these are the references, and evidence of reflection of 400 words along with the references. Now, if you want to, attach some pictures or images and things in your portfolio, you can do it. And that's how you have to complete your unit 1 work. So largely it is your evidence of learning, evidence of reflection, and one observation visit form which has to be filled. So unit 1 is a little light, right? But when you come on to unit 2, so I'll just take you to the next page. So the next page here is of unit 2. Now in unit 2, you can see that there is a lesson plan. Okay, this is a lesson plan. So you have to create a lesson plan, and you have to upload a lesson plan. You can upload other things which you want related to the lesson plan, other pictures, videos, and we've had an extensive session on what things can be attached with the portfolio. So you can attach the other artifacts here. Then there is an observation feedback form. Now this observation feedback form is something which pre-observation and post-observation is to be filled by you, but during observation has to be filled by your mentor. So in pre-observation discussion, you will be first of all telling that what is your intended learning outcome from this observation. So what do you want the mentor to observe in your teaching? Okay, so that is what has to be first of all listed over here, and then you have to write down what is the agreed focus with the mentor, which will be almost kind of similar things that you're going to be writing here. This is your pre discussion with the mentor, and then this is something which is filled by the mentor, which is your teaching and learning aspect. So whatever the mentor has observed, and what the mentor feels is the key strength and the key areas of improvement. So this portion is filled by the mentor, and then after that, once after the session you've had a discussion with the mentor, you will be writing this post observation discussion, in which you will also write down that what were the things which the mentor observed, and what feedback did you get, what do you feel is to be improved, and so on. Okay, so all of those things have to be filled in this form. So you have to first create your lesson plan, and then fill this observation feedback form, which has three parts. One is the pre-discussion, another is the post-discussion, and in between is the observation by the mentor. And then you have evidence of reflection of 600 words, and you have evidence of learning of 600 words, right? So this is how it's there. And any other artifact which you would like to attach, you can go ahead and attach, right? I am more than sure that we can create much better portfolios than what has been shown over here. Now, the unit 3. In unit 3, if you remember, we did the sequence of lessons. Okay. If you remember, we said that we will create a sequence of lessons, at least 3 lesson plans in sequence, right? And in that, what you are supposed to do is you have to get any one of it observed. So whichever you are getting observed, that particular lesson plan has to be uploaded over here, right? In this lesson plan, there is one additional thing, and that additional thing is reflect and identify aspects of the lessons you think helped make it inclusive. So it is asking you specifically, how did you integrate differentiated instructions over here? How did you make your lesson plan inclusive, right? So that's an additional part in this lesson plan. And after that, you also have to fill the observation feedback form. And this observation feedback form is again the same, which has the pre-observation discussion, which has the observation record, and which has the post-observation discussion. Okay, so all of this is the same as your unit 2. But in this, there is an additional document that you have to put, and that is the teaching activity log. This teaching activity log has to be filled from those activities that you have taken up in your sequence of lesson plans. So you have to identify at least 4 or 5 such different activities which you have taken. And then you have to describe these activities in terms, you have to do the description of the teaching activity, and evaluation of why did you choose this particular activity and how did it go, and finally the reflection on that activity. So that has to be filled as an activity log. And once you have done that, you will be writing the evidence of reflection, which will be of 800 words, and then evidence of learning, which is of 400 words, right? And of course, you can attach any other pictures or images which you feel are related to this. But those things, whatever you attach, should be referenced in the document, whatever document you are submitting.
Do we
Okay.
need to create our own like teaching strategies, or they can like
You can use any, you
ones?
can use any which is available on the internet also, but always try to have different strategies in your lesson plan. Suppose in unit 2 you have used some strategies, in unit 3 try to use different strategies. Don't repeat your strategies. Okay, so that's something which you
Okay.
should take care of while you're creating your lesson plan. So now all of these exemplars are there with you. All of you are on the PDQ Connect. you can easily reach these exemplars and you can easily see what is written here before you start attempting your work. Most of you have done your evidence of learning and evidence of reflection for unit 1, evidence of learning for unit 2, but not for other things, right? So so that is something which we have to now start working on. Who has joined just now? Who has joined just now with the iPhone?
Probably Neha.
Neha, are you there?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
you hear me now?
evening.
Hi, good
Yes,
evening.
yes,
How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
Yes, ma'am. Very good. It's been so
Good.
long.
Is the lockdown and the pandemic and the virus treating you really well? Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. I lost you in between. I don't know. There's some connection problem.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to say that is the pandemic treating you well? That's
Well,
not
I
bothering.
get to spend a lot of time with my husband, so yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Less flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I have put this session on recording. I have just taken everyone through the PDQ Connect and the exemplars for all the 3 units. Okay,
Yes,
to
ma'am.
revise, just to revise as to what are the things which we are supposed to be doing. So I'm just taking you back again to the PPT. All right. So just want all of you, please contribute now, because I want to hear from you that what are the things which we are supposed to be doing. Just 1 second, I'll share once again. What are the things which we are supposed to be doing in unit 1? Very quickly. Anyone can start. So let me just ask you, what is that which you will put in EOP, that is evidence of practice? Unmute. Ritu, if you're speaking, unmute.
Actually, I'm losing your voice in between. My connection is unstable, I suppose.
Is that so? Okay, wait, let me see.
Just few like 5 minutes prior to this, I was also like unable to hear you.
Wait, what I'll do is I'll make some changes. Okay, are you able to hear me well now?
Yes,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can.
Better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
ma'am.
So just tell me about what are the things which we are doing in EOP in unit 1. I just quickly want to have it from you all. Let it be there on your fingertips.
Practicing of teaching strategies.
What? EOP, एविडेंस ऑफ प्रैक्टिस में क्या डालोगे ई पोर्टफोलियो में? अभी तो दिखाया था. I had just showed it to you on the PDQ Connect. What are the things which you are going to be putting in the evidence of practice in unit 1? You're observing the experienced teacher. You remember in unit 1 you were
observation form. Yeah.
Yes.
Experience.
Some observation form.
Correct.
Sorry.
So it is the observation form as well as the LP of experienced teacher, right?
Experienced teacher.
Correct. So this is the thing which you are going to do. And in EOL, you how many words of writing is required? Learning.
800.
800 words.
800, yeah.
Yes. And in EOR, it is?
400?
Yes, 400. The total has to be 1200 words,
12.
remember. Okay, so it is 400
Yes, ma'am.
words. All right. Now just think, be ready with your unit 2. What are the things which we are supposed to do in unit 2?
Lesson plan.
Lesson plan.
EOP, yes. So you have to create your own LP. And then what else in EOP?
Observation form.
Observation with the mentor.
And the observation form has 3 parts, right? One is pre-discussion, then then it is
Post
the
discussion.
Observation.
observation, and then it is post-discussion. Okay, so that is there. Now, what else? What about your EOL and EOR?
600 words
Oh.
of
600 words. Yes.
EOL.
600 words, and EOL is all. EOR is also
600.
600 words. All right. And now let's just quickly figure out about our unit 3, what we are supposed to be doing in unit 3. EOP.
3 lesson
And
plans,
lesson
series of
plans.
3.
3
in a
LPs
series.
are what you will design yourself, but you will choose any one LP to be observed, which has to be uploaded. Only
So
this
these
one.
are two separate observations for unit 2 and unit 3. These have to be
Yes.
separate LPs.
Yes.
Both
yes,
have to be observed by the mentor.
Yes. 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 Okay. All right. So,
Posting will be done for only one lesson plan.
yes,
To
only
create
one
3
lesson plan, but you have to plan 3. Why am I saying you have to plan 3? Because activity log has to be filled in. So you have to take those activities from the activity log. Okay, for the activity log. So one is your lesson plan, which has to be put there. Another is your observation form. The same thing. So I'm copying this, putting it here. And one more thing which you have to add here is,
Sorry, ma'am, there's a slight confusion. You said 3 LPs we have to do, but
Yes.
only one needs to get observed and
Yes.
uploaded.
yes, yes.
So the other 2, what about the other 2?
The other 2 you have to keep with you. The
Okay.
other 2 is from where you will take your activities, because you have to fill one more document, and that
okay.
is the activity log. And in the
All right.
activity log, you have to fill at least 4 activities, which you have 4 different activities from all the 3 lessons that you are using. And then
Okay.
you have to describe that. So there is another document that you are filling, that is the activity
Activity
log.
log. All right.
And here, then we have the EOL, which is again, which will be of now of how many
400.
words? 400.
400. Yeah.
400.
Yes. And the EOR is of
800.
800 words. So you see, it has got completely, as you move, your learning is getting reduced, but your reflection is getting increased, right?
Yes,
Here
ma'am.
the learning was more, reflection was less, learning and reflection almost equal, and here it has got reversed. Okay. All right. So there is there complete clarity on what all things are we supposed to be putting in the portfolio?
Yes, ma'am.
And that activity log, in which unit we have to do that? 3rd unit, or it is separately entirely different?
No, it's in the 3rd unit. Activity log is in the 3rd unit only.
Okay.
I've put it here in the 3rd unit, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it is in the 3rd unit.
Ma'am, can you explain a little more the
I
activity
will,
log?
yes, everything I'll explain. Abhi to hum shuru kiye hain. We have just started. So don't worry. I'll explain you everything. Okay, right now I'm just trying to create a framework in your mind that how much and what all work you're supposed to do, and in which you did what work. So I hope this is clear to you now.
Yes.
For your sake, I have also done one more thing. I've put this, I've created this for you, so that at one place you have everything. In unit 1, what is in evidence of practice, what in evidence of learning, what questions are you answering, evidence of reflection, what questions are you answering. Similarly, in unit 2, it's given over here, and in unit 3, it is given here. So for you, it is in a very consolidated form. In this PPT, you will be able to find out what all things you're supposed to be doing in
Yes,
unit
ma'am. Thank you so much. It's very helpful.
Yeah, so it's all at one place. Now, before I go on to the lesson plan and I discuss about the activity log and the observation form once again, I just want to know from you, what all different strategies have you used in your online teaching so far? So if you can just give me some idea of what all things are you already using in your teaching strategies?
Ma'am, online worksheet, Padlet, PowerPoint presentation. That is very
Wait. Sorry, 1 second. You are using Padlet. For what purpose are you using Padlet?
for taking the responses of the students. Interactive session.
Correct. So you are taking the students' responses here, some kind of a brainstorming if you are doing, so you can put that in a Padlet, right?
Yes.
Or you can also ask your children to put their work on Padlet for your any of the flipped learning tasks. Suppose you've given them some kind of a article or a video to watch beforehand, right? And then you want them to do some task before they come to the class. So, and you want those tasks to be put up on the Padlet. So that is something which is possible. Fine. So Padlet can also be used for any of your flipped learning tasks. I'll show you something. Just remind me when I'm there on my browser, then just remind me that I said that I'll show you something. Okay. All right. So what are the other things which we are using online?
Online worksheet.
You're using online worksheet, also known as live worksheets.
Live worksheets.
You're using live worksheets wherein the children can do their self-assessment.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? It can be there for teacher assessment as well, but the children can do the self-assessment. Automatically, their assessment will be done. So your work will be less. And it's an interactive worksheet. It's that kind of a worksheet wherein you can put your videos also out there, and then you can ask or post questions related to that, right? Audio, video, or direct questions, drag and drop, whatever you want. So live worksheets is that particular site where you can really make your children.
Third is Peer Deck.
Okay, so you are also using Peer Deck. Now what happens in Peer Deck?
For the interactive session, like I take responses while teaching. Like they can make the mind map work I have done with them on the Peer Deck.
Okay, so you find that there are interactive slides on Peer Deck, and you use these interactive slides for getting the students' responses. One of the biggest advantage of Peer Deck is that it allows you to give the feedback. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And different templates I have used.
Yeah. So there are different templates, of course. Those are your interactive slides. There is already a bank of templates which are there, which are existing there, which you can quickly start. You can quickly use it, right? And another thing is that you can make the children, takeaways, that you can publish their takeaways. Through Peer Deck, they can, whatever responses they have put in your slides, that will get converted into takeaways, and each student will be getting their independent individual takeaways, right? So, and on that takeaway, you can put your feedback also. Individual feedback is also possible over there. So that's another thing about Peer Deck. All right. What else?
I very frequently use Nearpod.
Yes. So what all do you use in Nearpod, Ritu?
Ma'am, Nearpod though in itself is a complete lesson. So I include some collaborative board activities, open questions. I pick up videos and integrate there only. In fact, web links also you can embed in it. So if I have to direct them to Kahoot or something, that also gets integrated in that itself.
Very good.
So it's very comprehensive.
Absolutely. It's a one-stop solution. Nearpod is a one-stop solution for your online teaching. So you will have a collaborative board over there. You can integrate any kind of a YouTube content out there, or any videos. Your own
board is very effective. Drawing board is very good.
Yeah. So you can do that also. Then there is poll over there. You have matching pairs there. You also have fill in the blanks over there. Right.
In fact, their climb wala quiz, children 9th and 10th, they like it.
Climb to the top. Yes.
There is climbing up. Even they like it a lot.
Correct. Absolutely. So So Nearpod, if you're using Nearpod, it's something wherein you can easily engage all your students. So that's very nice. Anything else that you're using in online teaching?
I like breaking them in rooms. I've not done it on Zoom. I teach on Teams. So in Teams, I put them into different channels. So few times I've done that, and that's effective. That's a
So
good.
what do you call that on Teams?
I to call it breakout rooms only because they do not have a separate term for it.
Okay. Is it as effective as breakout rooms of Zoom?
Yes, I mean children are separated out, and you can keep on moving from one room to another very easily.
Okay.
In fact, I'm taking teachers meetings also in this way. If I have to take subject meetings and I have to go from one subject to another, very effectively it happens.
Very good. Okay. So you're doing online collaborative work, right? Breakout rooms for group work.
Ritu ma'am, I would like to learn it from you like in this
Sure. Anytime.
Teams पे I have not tried.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Okay.
polls everywhere once I tried.
Oh, yeah. So you can go in for, see, poll everywhere. You can do it in Nearpod as well. So इसलिए we need not go in for a separate tool for this. Nearpod, I think every teacher should have because that's really good. It doesn't take a lot of bandwidth like Peer Deck, and it's very handy to use.
And in fact, ma'am, for some subjects, the lesson plans which are already made, you really
Yes.
don't need to do anything altogether.
Exactly. You can use that. There are a lot of lesson plans which are already existing over there. So yes, you're right. And there is that PhET simulation for the science and
it's
mathematics.
fantastic.
Yes.
In fact, PhET on its own doesn't work if you try to work it directly. But
Is that so?
with
Okay.
Nearpod, it works really well.
Yeah. Okay. I have not seen that it doesn't work separately, but yes, I've tried it on Nearpod. Okay. Any other online teaching tool that you're using?
I earlier
Google
used
Forms,
Book
ma'am.
Widget.
Google
Book
Forms.
Widget is also really good.
Okay.
But
Google
then
Forms.
my account expired on it. So it also has multiple things on it, different kinds of quizzes, worksheets. Again, integrated system is there. It's
Which
different
one are you
from
talking
Nearpod.
about? What are you talking about, Ritu?
Book Widget.
Once again?
Book Widget. B-double-O-K.
Book widget. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just put it here. Okay. I'll just first go to Google Forms because I think Neha said Google Forms. Google and Microsoft Forms are something which you can use for quick assessment. And it can also be used for self-assessment, right? Okay.
Even quizzes can be added in this.
Yes. So quick assessment, yeah, quiz. I mean, assessment, quizzes and
Quizzes is
assessment.
a website, ma'am. which
Actually, you're
can-
talking about quizzes. So we'll wait for it. Right now, we are on the Google Forms and Microsoft Forms. You can have this and you can time it. In fact, Nearpod also gives you the facility of timing your activities, right? So you can put a timer on and then assess. Also, the best thing about Nearpod is that you will be able to get to know that which student has given the correct answer, who has not given the correct answer. If you want, you can hide the student's name. So that's really very effective. All right. So
Even
we
if
can
the
use.
children are on some other web like tab
Correct.
and not on Nearpod, you will see it.
I didn't get you, Ritu.
If I'm looking at the list of the kids who have joined the class, if they are on the Nearpod, it will show a green dot, and if they have switched over to another tab, they are doing
So
something
yes,
else
so you
on their
would know
device,
that they are
it
there
will
with
show
you.
a red dot.
Very good. Yes. That's nice. You seem to have done a lot of research on Nearpod. That's
I
nice.
use it quite often. I find it very easy for online teaching.
Correct. Okay, so you were telling me about Book Widget. What do you find over here? How
Ma'am,
is it?
Book Widget also has a lot of options in terms of different kinds of activities. There are certain in our smaller classes, teachers are using a lot of wheel things. So you can make wheels, you can make timer things, worksheets. Sab kuch is in the one go. You only have to select, put in your questions very easily. You can make things over it. So it is not a Nearpod kind of a thing जहाँ आपका lesson बनता है, but आप बहुत सारे things you can just make different
Worksheet kind of a thing. Is it like, yeah, interactive questions you are saying? They,
In different forms, interactive questions in different forms. FA
Okay.
activities ke liye, it's very effective.
So it's more about assessments you're saying. It is basically
Yes,
for assessments, right?
No, you have certain tools you can use for teaching as well, but then
Okay.
it depends on you how you utilize
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. Okay. So you can do this. This can be used for assessments, for teaching as well as assessment. Let me put it here. I have not explored book widget so far, so I can't really tell much about it. Okay. And any other thing which you're using?
We use Canva and all for assessing children from time to time. Like we did one newspaper activity, so we asked them
Canva
to
is
make
a
it on
designing
Canva.
tool.
Designing tool. So we
Yeah.
keep on sending them ki a card banao, sending from one microorganism to another.
So that's for an designing kind of an activity which
Yes.
you can ask children to do. Okay. What else?
And
You
there's a
said
lot of
quizzes.
science, virtual science labs.
Yeah. So you are using the virtual science labs for the students. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the children can perform the activities over there.
Yes.
Okay. Quizzes as well as, I'll put this as Edpuzzle, all this together, Kahoot. There is something known as word wall. All of this is for creating interactive quizzes and puzzles. All right. Okay. What else are you using? Exhausted? Everything?
I used Class Dojo once, although it wasn't very successful, but that is also a wonderful tool where children can make their portfolios. So you upload an activity, all of them see it, and they can respond. So sometimes, like, uh, it's a
Can
very
you just
good
spell
tool
it
if
out?
used effectively. Class Dojo.
Class Jojo.
Dojo, Dogo, Dojo.
Okay. This is for
Portfolio assessment.
I'm writing this. I have not explored this, so I can't say much about it. Okay. Do you remember Flipgrid?
Again, it's a part of Nearpod, so you can use it there itself.
Yes. It's a part of Nearpod, but you have to create your account separately in Flipgrid, right? So that you can use the Flipgrid over here. So the idea of Flipgrid is to make the children create their own videos. And tell about their learning of whatever thing you want them to explain. So it's again an assessment tool which you can use children, or you can also ask them to do some collaborative work in Flipgrid. The idea here is children are uploading their videos on whatever you are asking them to. Okay, then there is another tool which is known as Kialo, and Kialo is for debates. If you want the children to put into some kind of a debatable topic of where they have to choose for and against, they can also comment upon their friends' comments. The teacher can rate the argument which is there. The most rated argument would be on the top. So this is a very nice tool for children to get different perspectives, read the students' perspective, write their own perspective. Rebuttals are there. So it's again very nice if you want to let the children into debates and discussions. Okay, so you can use this. All right. So we've kind of discussed about a lot of such online tools which can be used by us to make these sessions more interesting, more interactive, and more engaging for the students. So somewhere we will not miss our physical classroom. So in physical classroom, what do we, of course, there is no replacement of a physical classroom, but in the given circumstances, how best can we engage the students is what we are seeing. And these online tools, they help us to carry out our synchronous learning really well. Okay. So while you are teaching, that happens really well. So I think let me just also add one more thing here, and that is your flipped videos or maybe articles. Okay, which will help you to blend the synchronous and asynchronous learning. All right. So synchronous learning is while they are there with you, along with you, while you're teaching in an online class. Whatever learning happens, that is known as synchronous. It is in sync with you. Asynchronous is what you are giving beyond your online teaching class, which means they are doing it when you are not there, right? Which means if you have shared something to them on some other platform or on WhatsApp, you have shared some material with them and they are reading it and doing something about it, that is known, or you've given them some project to work upon, that is asynchronous learning. Learning is taking place, but when you are not there, right? So what you have to do is you have to blend this synchronous and asynchronous learning, and that is possible with the help when you flip your classroom. Okay, when you use the flip learning things. So here,
There's
all
one more
these,
thing we can add.
yes,
The online whiteboards.
yes, whiteboard Wi-Fi.
That also, and otherwise also live board is there. That is also good.
Okay, so I'll put that as a slash. That is live board. Okay, so this is again something wherein children can immediately put their responses and you will be able to see the students' response. Okay, all right. So likewise, if we want, we can fill one more slide with online teaching tools, but that's not our aim. Our purpose is that we should have something or the other for all our requirements of engaged teaching and learning, right? So what I have already done earlier was to put in, I have put what all things I felt that I can put in that. What I have not put in the earlier slide is Coggle. Coggle is a tool through which you can make the children create concept maps. Okay, so so that's another thing which you can go ahead. It's a very nice tool wherein children can just keep on adding to the concept map. So if you remember, we did the David Ausubel's advanced organizer. किसको किसको याद है हमने ये किया था? Yeah, we did David Ausubel's
Class
advanced
8 class was going on in which
So in that, it is that we have to share our learning outcomes with the students. And one of the ways of sharing it is in the form of advanced organizer. So you can give them some blank advanced organizers. And as you proceed with your session, you can keep on, the children can keep on adding to the concept map. So that's the idea. Okay. So they can do this with the help of Coggle. Okay. All right. So we've done this. Now, now I'm going to take you, I'll just stop share and take you to the browser. And here I had asked you to remind me of something because I can recall this. So I'm first showing this to you. On Padlet, I said that you can always ask your children to contribute some flipped learning material. So I'll show you the class in which I was enrolled for Cambridge, and how did they use it. See, this is the one, effective professional development. So they asked us to work upon top 5 principles for effective professional development, and everybody
Nothing is visible. Your screen is not shared.
So this is the Padlet, and they had asked us to read certain material, and then they asked us to list down the top 5 principles of effective professional development. So all the participants, they listed it, and then the teacher over there could write the comments. The participants could write the comments over here. So the Padlet is something which is not just used for the online teaching collaboration, but it is possible that you can go ahead and have the collaboration otherwise also. When you have given them some task to do, they can put it up over here. You can always go through it, give feedback to the children. So Padlet has this utility also. Okay.
Ma'am, this I have done with my kids. I have given them to learn the ocean and they have written about it, important points about all the oceans. And then I
Very good.
feedback on, I mean, there and there only.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. So this way what will happen is they can insert some pictures also if they wish to. They can, whatever they want to, they can do it, and it will be here on your wall. And everybody else can also see what the others have written. All right. So I'll now just go on to the next thing which we have to understand. And these are the things. I'll first take you to the lesson plan, and then I'll take you to the activity log, and finally to the observation form. Okay. So I'll first take you through this lesson plan. Now, this is the unit 3 lesson plan that I'm discussing. And we'll have to see that how can we modify this lesson plan to suit our online teaching. That's important, right? So here the learning objectives, this is for grade 6, and the aim is for writing an autobiography, and the learning outcomes are learners will be able to critique a simple autobiography. They'll be able to identify the main elements of autobiography, add humor to the given text, and select one topic for writing autobiography using a graphic organizer. Right. Now, this is one of the lesson plans in the sequence of lesson plans, which means that there is something which has already happened before this. Okay. Now, what's happening here? That initially the teacher is greeting and then sharing the learning objectives. And the learners will greet the teacher and then ask questions to clarify the lesson expected learning from the lesson. So this is happening over here. Now, next is introduction. So link recent learner experiences to concept of an autobiography. Here, what the children are doing, they are working in pairs. They are recalling any of their recent experience, and they are and they are also linking it to in the previous class. Probably they have learned how to create a story, right? So their previous learning experiences, how to create a story. This is what I'm assuming, that in the previous class they have learned how to write a story. So their previous learning is about creating a story. What they're doing is their recent experience, they are converting it into a form of a story and then sharing it with the partner. So this is what they're doing for 10 minutes. This is for, it's a pair activity which is happening. Then 15 minutes, they're doing model reading. Now model reading, the teacher has given some handouts. So you can see over here, multimedia sample autobiography. So there is a sample autobiography which is given to them. There are highlighters, whiteboard and board markers, and graphic organizer is there. Now children are doing their reading the autobiography sample which is given to them, and they are using slides for expression and intonation. So so there is this model reading which is going on. Model reading, which means that there is one person probably in the class who has been chosen, and then this model reading is going on. And then learners work in mixed ability pairs to highlight interesting sentences and underline difficult words or phrases. So there is model reading which is going on, and there are children who are working in mixed ability pairs. Okay, pairs may have, but mixed ability pairs hai. And while the model reading is going on, they are kind of highlighting these sentences.
So we can do it. We can do it online ways as well. Like say for example, you have made the pair like me and like Bharti, Ritu ma'am and Neha. Likewise, so like say for Bharti is reading and I am finding out something important. So likewise, you mean to say that we can do it in our class as well?
Yes. So you can put that in the breakout rooms. So अभी पहले lesson plan समझ लेते हैं, and then we will see कि इसको अगर हमें इसी lesson plan को online के लिए लिखना होगा तो हमको क्या add करना है इसके अंदर, right? So let's just have an overview of this lesson plan. After they have underlined the difficult words and phrases and interesting sentences, then there is this post-reading discussion and feedback, which means that the learners are now sharing which words have they highlighted or which sentence did they find interesting. And then they are working on a graphic organizer. they demonstrate how graphic organizer can be used to identify basic elements of writing an autobiography. Because it is a sample autobiography, they are filling now a graphic organizer in which they are writing the specific or the special elements they have found in the autobiography, right? And yeah, so the learners see how to use graphic organizer to identify the topic, plot, scene, characters, events, and climax. So that's what they are doing. Now, for next 10 minutes, there is this round robin which goes on, wherein the children they are put into groups of 5, and they are identifying, one sentence from this sample autobiography and there this one sentence is the one which they are choosing and trying to make it more humorous. Because if you see, the one of the learning outcomes are add humor to the given text. So what they're doing is each one of them is choosing one interesting sentence and trying to make it humorous. So, and then they're writing it on the chart paper. Once it is done, then the responses are shared. After this, they explain the seed and watermelon idea for writing autobiographies. So seed and watermelon ideas are like, seeds are those specific key points or the hanging points of the story, right? And when you join these points, then the entire story is built up. That's their watermelon. So that's the seed and watermelon for writing autobiographies. And then reinforce how to use graphic organizer to complete the activity. Now what the children are doing, learners will choose one interesting incident of their life to write about using a graphic organizer for initial planning of autobiography and then share it with the class. So कौन सा ऐसा interesting किस्सा है, the one which they are going to write. So they are putting it in the graphic organizer now, in the same way in the form of a seed and watermelon kind of a thing, that what are those key points which they are going to address in their story. So उसके अंदर characters कौन से होंगे, plot क्या होगा, climax क्या होगा, problem क्या होगी, and so on. So they are filling it up in the story to create their own autobiography. Now, then they are wrapping up with they will complete a 1-minute paper. So 1-minute paper could be for what is that which they have learned. So they will reflect on their learning in that 1-minute paper. And finally, there is this diary writing for homework. So they are supposed to be writing this piece of autobiography as a homework and bring it the next day. Okay. Now, let's also read the teacher's reflection on how did she try to make this lesson inclusive. Okay. So I think using a variety of activities helped to engage all ability of learners. So remember, if you're using variety of activities, you are using differentiated instructions, because it will affect your read and write learners or visual learners or auditory learners or kinesthetic learners if you're using variety of activities. So that's one thing. Although some of the lower ability learners had problems using graphic organizer, the round robin activity where the learners had to work in mixed ability groups provided opportunities for them to support each other's learning. See this. Very clearly, the teacher is writing that in this activity, I used mixed ability groups. And in the mixed ability groups, they are getting peer support, right? So peer support is happening. And so therefore, here you have differentiation by peer support. In activities where learners were working in pairs, also provided opportunities for the learners to support each other's learning. Here again, differentiation is happening. The element of adding humor to the selected sentences also created a more comfortable, fun-filled environment in which each learner made an effort to participate either by contributing to it or simply enjoying the activity while learning from others. So आप देखो inclusivity के कौन-कौन से points इन्होंने add किए हैं. पहली चीज, I used variety of activities. Second thing, there was a group activity where there was mixed ability students, so there were peer support available. In pairs, when they worked, there was support which was available. Because there was a fun-filled activity, children otherwise learned because the environment was all good. So even if the low ability students were not able to contribute, they learned from others' contributions. So here, how has the teacher made the class inclusive is what written. So this is what you also have to think. How are you making your class inclusive? Then the next thing is about the evaluation. So lesson evaluation, here the teacher is reflecting The round robin activity went really well as all my learners were fully engaged in the activity and everyone was able to create their own sentence successfully. I am starting to use assessment for learning strategies more effectively. Taking written feedback was another highlight as my learners were able to reflect on their learning and track their progress against the success criteria. Now here you see 1 minute paper, the teacher is asking the children to reflect. ये क्या है? ये metacognition है. The teacher is using metacognition over here. The teacher is asking children to reflect on their learning, right? And it is based on the success criteria. यहाँ पे शब्द लिख दिया success criteria, which means that the teacher has given a success criteria to the students that this is something which you have to see whether you are able to use properly. Are you able to use graphic organizer properly and things like that? Then, however, I feel that the lower ability students needed an even simpler version of graphic organizer to help them plan their autobiography. In future practice, I'll design some simpler worksheets so that all learners participate fully and achieve their learning objectives. So here the teacher is also identifying क्या कमी रह गई. शायद graphic organizer, something which I tell you that concept maps भी दो तो concept maps को 3 level के बना दो. You know, tiered concept maps should be there. So she is able to identify the need that the same graphic organizer, probably I could have made it slightly simpler for the ones who are low achievers. So this is the teacher's reflection on this lesson plan. Now the thing which we have to reflect upon is how do we make this, or how do we convert this into an online lesson plan? Okay, so suppose you want them to go ahead and do this autobiography reading, right? Do you think you would like to make the pairs beforehand and make the children do this as a work, as a pre-reading work, and not in your online teaching, but something which they can do as a pre-reading? Okay, it's something which is a flipped activity. कर सकते हैं? Yeah, so we'll have to see all those things which you would like to put as a flipped activity, so you can mention it that the children have already done this as a thing and now it is being assessed, or now they are sharing what they have written. So sharing what they have written is easily possible in an online class. Fine. So you have to think how would you want to go ahead and do this? Now, if you want your children to be, so they can already create a graphic organizer and be ready with it beforehand. So this part of an activity could be ready-made for you, and then discussion on it is something which can happen in an online class. But if you don't want to do it in the flip form, you can always go ahead and give them the breakout rooms. They will work out, and then one of them will create. They will create it as a PowerPoint presentation, right? And then the screen sharing with some of the groups can happen, or they can put their slides on the Padlet so that everybody can see each other's slide. So that's also possible. Okay. So that way, so what you have to do is you have to mention this. How are you making your children share their work? That has to be mentioned. Okay. Then this round robin activity, you want them to choose the sentences and create into humorous sentences. You can always say that I'll ask them to use a Padlet, or I'll ask them to use your Nearpod collaborative board to put their sentences. So that's also possible, and they may work in pairs, or they may individually work, because they are seeing other people's sentences, so they are getting an idea. So obviously there is help which is being provided, because children are putting in their interesting sentences over there, so they are seeing each other's sentences and they are getting the help from that, right? So therefore those who are slow learners, they are learning from others' work and then trying to figure out themselves. Or otherwise, this can again be done in your breakout rooms. This is something for which you can put them in the breakout rooms. They can decide about their sentences and then come out with it and then put it on the collaborative board. Okay, after they have finished this work. Similarly, creating their graphic organizer, how would you want them to be putting? So your draw tool can be used in this. So you can make the children use a draw tool and put the graphic organizer there. The idea is that you have to see that all of that work, which we easily do in a physical classroom, you have to now think of a tool and you have to put that tool over there. How are you using it? You have to rethink about the time, how much time each of this will be taking. You also have to see how are you engaging all your students and how are you providing them the feedback in case if you're providing the feedback to them. Okay, so you have tools with you, you know how to use it. You just have to do mention your tools in your lesson plan, that which tools are you using. Okay, then it will become easier for the observer also to see that how are the children engaged. You are sharing your learning objectives, you are revisiting your learning objectives with the students, all the time is kept properly out there. With a online class, there are always problems of sometimes internet connectivity, slow internet with some students, and so there are definitely problems which are there. So all of those problems will definitely be considered, because that is beyond the teacher's control, right? So if it's beyond your teacher's control, so that will be considered by the mentor, right? So that's about the lesson plan. I'll now share the activity log with you. So the activity log is like this, it looks like this. I'll take you through some of the activities which this teacher has listed. Teachers listed many activities here. So it is from the previous period or maybe the following period. One of that is round robin, which she has covered in this lesson. And then vocabulary hunt, there is a vocabulary board, there is reading aloud, there's a guest speaker, and then peer feedback. So these are the activities which she has chosen. So now let's see the one which we have read, round robin. So she has written description of the activities like this. Learners worked in groups to choose a sentence from the same autobiography and had to rephrase it in a humorous way. Each member of the group had to write their own version of the sentence. So this is the teaching activity. Now, evaluation of the teaching. So what are they doing? They're from the sample autobiography, they're picking out a sentence, they're converting it into a humorous way. Now, how is the teacher evaluating this activity? I chose this activity because I knew writing an autobiography which required humor would be challenging for many of my learners. So got them to work in groups so that they could support each other's learning. The learners shared their responses with the whole class, which evidenced how they had met the learning objective. So this is how the teacher is evaluating whether the activity which she has chosen was fit enough, or is it serving the purpose or not. Okay. And then the next thing is the teacher reflecting on that activity. So the reflection is like this. Working in groups helped all my students, no matter what their ability level, to progress their learning. This activity helped my learners to develop their higher order thinking skills, and although challenging, they enjoyed working cooperatively and were motivated to learn. Right. So this is the teacher's reflection on the activity, that the activity went really well. All the children enjoyed it. They learned from each other's support. They were happy doing this activity. They were motivated. They were interested into it. Right. So that's the teacher's reflection on the activity.
So she doesn't mentions that whether she would like to change anything, or even if she won't like to change. It is her reflection is fine.
Yes, if she does not want to change, she'll not mention. But if you see, it's written, what changes would you like to, would you make based on your evaluation? But if everything is nice out here, you would not like to make changes. But in this case, in some cases, it's written, I will now use vocabulary building in more frequently, so my learners develop. In this also, she doesn't want anything to be changed. So if you go through these details, you'll get to know if she wants certain things to be changed or she does not want certain. If the activity is going on really well, why to change? But if it did not go as per your wish, then in that case, you have to bring about the change. So reflection is for that only, whether you want something to be changed or not. Okay. But a better reflection is to find out and figure out, even in a very successful activity, what is that one thing which you change and make it still better. Right. So this is about the activity log, wherein you, whatever activities you have chosen in all your 3 lesson plans, try to pull it out, try to explain what the activity is, why have you used this activity, and how did it go. So your reflection. Okay. So that's the whole thing. And then finally, as I said, I will also show you the observer feedback form. In the observer feedback form, of course, what are the things which you want the observer to look at? Then what is your focus? What is the teacher, what is the observer observing in the teaching? What is the observer observing from the learners? Okay, what are the learners doing? So that is specifically mentioned in this particular column. And here, what is that which the teacher is doing is mentioned over here. What are the key strengths of the teacher? What are the areas of improvement? All this has to be filled by the mentor. And then this is the post-observation discussion, wherein the teacher, wherein you as a candidate, after discussion with the mentor, are going to be filling up the forms. Okay, so now I have explained everything which I wanted to explain to you all. Tell me if you have any doubt about anything. Do you want to ask a question related to any of these things? Let me share my PPT again.
What is the timeline to be followed?
Ma'am,
See-
number of activities that need to be put up in the log?
4 is minimum.
4 is minimum. Okay.
And then if you want, you can have 6, because I think ideally in the exemplar, they have put it as 6. So depends how many would you like to evaluate and put out there. Okay,
Sorry, ma'am, may I speak something?
please. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I have one more webinar from 5 to 6. I'm so
Chalo, ho gaya. I am done with it. I'm done with it. If you have no questions, then it's over. All right. Timeline is something which we can always, I'll put it on the WhatsApp group. Okay. So bye, Shankla.
Like how much time do we have?
yeah, ma'am,
See,
that's what the point is.
This is something which we'll have to, you all have to decide. We've already got delayed in this thing, right? Now, as soon as you people finish it, or you decide and tell me that I'll take 3 weeks to finish or a month to finish and complete my portfolio, then I will see from the dates which are available for submission, because there are submission dates. So from which, so I'll choose the submission date and I'll tell you the submission date, and accordingly we can then go ahead and plan. So ये आपको बताना पड़ेगा कि क्या आप ये सारा काम within 1 month खत्म कर सकते हो. In next 1 month means by December end, would you be able to finish it? If you are able to finish it by December end, then I can.
be done by Jan then. Yeah,
Neha,
I should submit in Jan.
you would like to submit it in January, right? So what I'll do is
Yes.
I'll just pick and choose the January date and share it with you that what is the last date for submission in January, right? And accordingly, so what you all do is you keep your deadline as December end, wherein your e-portfolio is completed, approved, everything is done.
Yes, ma'am,
So
sure.
keep it as December end, and then in January, I'll just figure out and see what dates are available, and then I'll book it for January in that case for you all.
Because again, that same thing is happening. We are done with class 10 syllabus and class 9, only little bit is left.
Whom are you talking to, Ritu?
I'm talking to you only, ma'am.
Acha,
Last
kya?
time also the course was almost finished, and now
Ah.
again we finished everything.
Doesn't matter. Go ahead and take any lesson.
Revision
करो या
kind of a lesson would be fine.
या reteach it, कुछ भी करो. अपने देखो, now it's important is कि जो आपके forms बन रहे हैं, lesson plan बन रहे हैं, उनकी quality अच्छी होनी चाहिए. Because eventually that is what will be evaluated, and I have put in this the assessment criteria also for you all to see it again. Distinction का डाला है और किसी का नहीं डाला है, because I want all of you to pass through with distinction, और इससे नीचे कुछ भी नहीं चलेगा, right? So therefore read this properly and see that your portfolio is conforming to this criteria. Okay. And I've also put this link to the Harvard style referencing in case if you would like to check it out once again. Okay, this video is available here. You can see it. All right, so I'm done with this. Recording will be there. I'll put it in the classroom. If you want, you can check out with the recording once again. PDQ Connect is already there with you. you have all the help and support, and I am always there whenever you want. You can just call me up. Okay.
That we know, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Okay. Yes,
yeah,
Bharti.
ma'am, actually, I don't have a job right now.
Yes, Tarandeep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarandeep, we'll have to figure out something. Let's talk separately on the phone about this. That
Okay,
how
ma'am.
can we do? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And Neha, I believe you can now brief
Yes.
Ria about all of these things,
Yes,
right?
ma'am, I'll do that.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
Himanshu was not able to join. I'll see what will happen with him. ठीक है. All right then. See you
Okay,
all.
ma'am. Thank
Take
you
care,
so much.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, ma'am.
Bye.
Good evening,
Take
ma'am.
care.
Take
Good
care.
evening. Bye
Ma'am,
bye.
I'll call you.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. ठीक है.
done.
Bye.
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 Bye.